Okay, so video 2 for today, finding your hyper niche. Here I am on the Parthenon in Sheffield City Centre. No, finding your hyper niche in approach, cold approach in your social life. Finding your niche and then your hyper niche. This is where you can get outsized results for yourself, mainly in terms of quality, also quantity, but more in terms of quality. So we're going back to approach, cold approach, daytime, nighttime approach, and your personal life. So finding your hyper niche. Just as in business, there is the concept of a market, right? The market is just a mass group of people. In any business, you're wanting to find your people, right? Your people who love what you do, who dig you and who love what you do and want your results. It's actually very similar in the so-called sexual marketplace, okay? It's a very impersonalized way of looking at it. It's just women who naturally are into some of the things you're into and would like, probably to be around a guy who had similar interests, or there's some kind of a perspective that they share, or there's something cultural there. So an example of a niche might be, for example, electro music, right? You're seriously into electro music. In that scene, you might even be a DJ, or you might just be organizing some nights, or you might have ascended a little bit in that scene. And then you meet the electro girls with all their kind of like weird tattoos and stuff. Okay, that is a niche. It's maybe even a hyper niche. For myself, when a hyper niche would be, for example, alongside the electro, you were also into CrossFit. And then you meet a girl who is electro girl and she's into CrossFit. Then you're in a hyper niche. Then it's like you're speaking to her and it's kind of like, well, as long as there's good attraction, you guys, it's going to go to the moon. That's what I would describe as a hyper niche. It's when you have a confluence of different niches that all bisect into one point in one person. And at that point, it's like, boom, we're off to the moon. So for example, if you liked international travel and you like cold approach and like self-development and philosophy, then you might be interested in what I've got to say, because there'll be a few different things where we share different interests. So let's say with approach, I gave the example of the electro girl there. In my life, I'm into certain genres of music, basically Latin music, salsa, bachata, dembow, actually like reggaeton, all of these, like, the stuff that's going on currently. It's not like archaic stuff, it's current stuff. And then also Afrobeat as well, which I've been into way before anyone else was into it. I know everyone says that. I was like heavy into it. Fuck, we're going back like 2012, something like that. Like, I was like, wait, what's this music? This is absolutely awesome. So I was going to like Afrobeat nights in like 2014, something like that. That's more of a minor interest, but the kind of African side is more of a minor interest. The real side is more like the Latin side. So I've got that, right? That's a big level of interest. Plus on top of that, I've also got language interest as well. So I've got music, I've got dance, I've got language, right? That's a confluence of different interests. So if I go to a night where the girls are from, let's say, Cuba or Dominican or from Colombia or Venezuela, and I know all the dances and I'm actually really good at all the dances they like, bachata, salsa. Oh, I also speak fluent Spanish as well. I mean, I'm so like, I'm a bizarre entity to them, because it's like, wait, who the fuck is, wait, you're from the UK? What the actual fuck? There are other guys like me, but the point is there's not many of us running around. Now on top of that, I've also got daytime cold approach skills. I was a club promoter before, so it's a confluence of different things, and it just kind of means your results just go up to the moon, basically. That's what I've been finding since I've come back into the UK with my additional cold approach skills, especially at night time when I'm going to my nights. It's funny, to be honest. It's humorous. Yeah, it's actually really annoying. Like the the best girl I've approached in the UK, whose number I got like about a month ago in a club. Like, we were pretty much all over each other in the club. When I left, I realized my Chinese Huawei phone, I hadn't saved this thing properly. It saved onto the SIM or some shit. Something was fucked up about the way I saved it, so I lost this girl's contact. But that night was funny because I was just kind of like, you know, it was kind of take your pick, really, because I could do the dance, I spoke the language, I knew the music, and I can also do approach as well. So it was kind of easy, right? And I'm showing off here, sure I am. But hey, at 38, like, honestly, like, you should have your shit together by 38 years old. So it isn't really showing off, it's just the way things should be. So yeah, finding that hyper niche, but it should be something that's authentic, in my opinion. I'm not pretending to like this music in order to get girls. I'm not pretending to like languages in order to get girls. It should be something that's authentic. So for you, it might be something else. It might be a sport. As I say, it might be, a lot of people have the gym and stuff like this, but I think you need multiple interests, and that's when you get into the hyper niche, and that's basically where you find girlfriend material, in my experience. Like, my ex was one of my exes. She was a Dominican girl who was really into kizomba, which virtually no Dominican girls even know what kizomba is. So I was like, this is really interesting. She's from this Latin side that I like, but she's also into this Africa side that I like as well. She's into kizomba and Afrobeat. And it was like, and she had a professional job and she went to the gym. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And that was the recipe for a great relationship. Confluence of interests, you know. For me, it's got to be something more like, it's a bit more physical, you know. It's not just like, oh, I like comic books, you know. But equally, there's some hot girls who fucking go to Comic-Con. So, you know, confluence of interests, plus some cold approach into that, you'll be absolutely fucking unstoppable, man. Unstoppable. If you don't have any interest, your only interest is going out drinking, don't be surprised when the girl you get with, her only interest is in going out drinking as well. Yeah, that's your hyper niche, is doing shots, and that's fine. But just don't complain about it at a later date. Yeah, you want to find interesting people, be interesting, you know, have hobbies, you know. So yeah, I will leave the Parthenon. The sun is drawing in, and yeah, I've still got a few more hours of work to do, so I like to circulate. I go from cafe to cafe. I'm trying to recreate the Parisian artiste lifestyle here in Sheffield. It's difficult to do, but if anyone can do it, I can do it. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Enjoy your afternoon, boys.